Hello everyone, how you doing? Welcome back. And we've got another new one. This is Airport Hero Haneda. I am an air traffic controller. So this has been out for a few weeks I think now. But I haven't got the full game. This is a demo. This demo is available on the PlayStation Store. It's a PS4 game. I don't know a lot about it. Just looking down the gubbins. The description says, if only I could go to the airport whenever I wanted. The Airport Hero is a popular series in which you take the role of an air traffic controller and give instructions to aircraft. This game takes place at Haneda Airport, where you must use the 4 runways to protect the safety of the skies with your calm and collected judgment and tactful control instructions. There's a total of 16 stages. Enjoy the 3D puzzle by giving the right control instructions for each different situation. So, that's what we're going to be doing. This is the demo. I thought we'd just hop into the demo, play a couple of levels. I've not even been into it at all yet. So we'll just jump straight in. There's a few stages available. Looks like 5 stages available in the demo. 2 beginners and 3, stage 3, 4 and 5, which are showing us trial. So we've got first day, let's learn how to take off. Second day, let's learn how to land. Then we've got first time in air traffic control, a busy day at Haneda Airport. Hope I'm pronouncing that right, by the way. And the last one, stage 5, is pay attention to the aircraft routes. So I don't know how long each of these stages actually are. So we'll give it a go. We'll try and see how we get on. We'll try this first one, learning how to take off. First time as an air traffic controller at Haneda Airport. Let's learn the procedures for takeoff. And there's a bonus challenge. Take off 1 aircraft from runway 16L. Do we want to start the stage? Yeah, we better. So there's a photo mode as well. That's quite interesting. Press the touchpad and do the photo mode. Ready to start. Oh, it's quite good this. I've not done an air traffic control game before, I don't think. Plenty of flying aircraft, but not air traffic control. Anyway, let's see what it's about. Okay, so there's our aircraft. Let's start the training for the departing flight. Once you learn the procedures, you'll be able to control the aircraft as you wish. You can check the operation method on the pause menu. And the objective is to earn points by giving instructions to the aircraft. At the end of the assigned time, if you've earned more points than the minimum, you will clear the stage. Right, so there's a minimum we need to do to be able to clear it. The main air traffic control flow for departures from Haneda Airport is runway selection, taxiing approval, and then takeoff approval. Let's actually experience it step by step. You can skip this tutorial. Well, no, let's do it. Let's do it. We won't skip the tutorial because we need to know what it's about. Completely new to this game. So when the departure time of your flight is approaching, a strip with the flight information for the aircraft will appear in the departure list. The strips are used to check the status and give instructions to the aircraft, so I can already see that down the left hand side of the screen. The communication between air traffic controllers and pilots is called ATC and is carried out via radio. Fair enough. The first communication for departing flights begins with a mutual confirmation of the flight plan to the destination airport. Okay. A command is displayed to give instructions to the aircraft. An exclamation mark icon appears on the strip while the command is displayed. In the small frame below the icon, the amount of time the aircraft has been left unattended is indicated by a gauge. Each time the gauge reaches the right end, the colour of the icon changes in the 4 stages. You can see the 4 colours there. So we must have a limited time to perform these actions. The more you make the aircraft wait, the fewer points you will get, so be careful. Note that the green exclamation mark will be displayed when you cannot earn points but can give instructions as necessary. You can also use the right stick, triangle and square to control the camera's viewpoint and to zoom. So that's triangle, square, right stick. Okay, got it. Air traffic control is divided into 5 sections, and departure begins with delivery. Now approve the flight plan by selecting the departure approval. Okay, let's do that.
On Air 3428 Tokyo delivery cleared to Naha Airport via Vamos to departure flight plan route maintain flight level 200 squawk 2502 lead park.
Selecting a command initiates a communication or conversation between the air traffic controller and the pilot. Each air traffic controller is responsible for a section. When that section is in communication with an aircraft, it cannot give instructions to other aircraft until the communication is over. Therefore, consider the timing and sequence of the command selection and give instructions to the aircraft, taking into account the waiting time for the communication.
Clear to Naha Airport via Vamos to departure flight plan route maintain flight level 200 squawk 2502 Nippon Air 3428.
Nippon Air 3428 lead park is correct. Contact ground when ready for pushback.
Roger, contact ground when ready for pushback. Nippon Air 3428. Tokyo ground, Nippon Air 3428. Request pushback.
Okay, so now we're going to take on, I assume we're going to take on the role of ground now. So we've done departure approval. When that's complete, the aircraft moves to the ground control, which is in charge of aircraft on the ground within the airport. Ground control will give you the runway for the aircraft to take off and the taxi route to take you to that runway. Select 16L and taxi route A. Okay, so we want 16L and taxi route A.
Nippon Air 3428 Tokyo ground pushback approved. Heading north runway 16 left.
Pushback approved. Runway 16 left. Nippon Air 3428.
Since the aircraft cannot be moved backwards, it is pushed back by a towing car. So I keep saying 16L. It is actually 16L, isn't it? That's the correct way to pronounce it, of course. So it's getting a pushback. He knows to take taxiway A to 16L. So there's 16 stages in the game. I did notice as well that the developer seems to be the publisher actually is the same publisher as the railway game we were playing recently. What's his name? What's it called? I'll tell you in a second. I wasn't very prepared for this, was I? I will find it. Do you know the name escapes me?
Nippon Air 3428. Request taxi.
I'm going to find it. I'm definitely going to find what it's called. The Road to Kyoto. That's it. That's it. That's what I was thinking of. Which is also set in Japan. There's plenty of videos of that on the channel. You wouldn't think so, would you, with the way I couldn't remember what it was actually called. But yeah, there are some Journey to Kyoto. Japanese Rail Sim Journey to Kyoto. Of course. Go and have a look for those on the channel if you're interested. But that is the same publisher as this one. So, let's get back to this after that little detour or diversion. The departing flight has been pushed back and has left the spot or the parking area. Give the taxi instructions to move the aircraft to the runway. So we'll go for the taxi and approval.
Nippon Air 3428 taxi to runway 16 left.
Taxi to runway 16 left. Nippon Air
Okay, that's straightforward enough. So he should start taxiing. See down in the bottom right hand corner, you can see the instructions that he's been given. 16L and taxiway A. And there's his call sign, the Nippon Aviation 3428. I'm not speeding this up, by the way. This is done in game. So now about the tower handoff for the departing flight. On the way to the takeoff runway, it's necessary to pass the communication from the ground control to the tower control, which is in charge of takeoffs and landings in the airspace around the airport and on the runway. This handover of control is called a handoff in aviation terminology. By giving instructions while handing off control in this manner, aircraft can move through the airport without getting lost. Hand over the control by selecting the tower handoff. Alright.
Nippon Air 3428 contact tower 118.7.
Contact tower 118.7 Nippon Air 3428. Tokyo Tower Nippon Air 3428 on your frequency.
So you can see the top right hand corner as well.
Nippon Air 3.
You can see where the aircraft is in relation to the actual runway, the 16L. Takeoff approval. Aircraft may not enter the runway without the air traffic controller instructions. After observing the condition of other aircraft, the aircraft may be allowed to enter the runway. Looks like you can safely take off, so you may select takeoff approval. And finally, it's time to take off. Okay, so I presume we know it's fine to take off by looking at that mini-map up in the top right-hand corner. Because, well, there are other views, as we can see. You can see around the airport. And there's no other traffic at all. Anyway, let's do what it says.
Nippon Air 3428, wind 040 at 3, runway 16 left, cleared for takeoff.
Wind 0.
So there's 16L. You can see the threshold.
Nippon Air 3428.
It's just a pity we can't actually fly the aircraft. But that's what Microsoft Flight Simulator is for, ladies and gentlemen. So this is $36.99 on the PlayStation Store for the full version with 16 levels. So, you know, Journey to Kyoto was a similar price, similar type of thing, but with trains. It didn't have a lot of playability in it for full price, but it was a good one in a sale. So, not sure how long each of these different stages, the 16 stages in this, or, you know, I don't know how long they are. Don't know how long it will take you to complete the actual game itself. So there's our aircraft. So I think once it's in the air, you will need to contact approach, which again will be us. That should take care of the bonus challenge. There we go. So by completing bonus challenges, you can earn more points as a challenge bonus. When aiming for a higher rank, try to achieve the bonus challenge. I mean, it looks good. I mean, it's nice looking around the airport and the city and seeing it take off. This is quite nice. Wow, that's some steep climb, that, isn't it? Look at that. A short time after the aircraft takes off, it's handed off to departure control, which monitors the air route to the destination. Even if you do not instruct departure handoff, the aircraft will automatically hand off after a while, but you can earn points by giving the instruction. Alright, so let's do that.
Nippon Air 3428, contact Tokyo departure 120, decimal 7.
Contact Tokyo departure Nippon Air 3428. Good day.
day.
Departing flights that are moving away from the airport and into the distance will have more handoffs after this. If you forget to give an ATC instruction, the instruction will be automatically selected and you won't receive any points. I guess that's to just keep everything moving and then you can catch up when you're ready. After this, you can actually try to control a departing flight by yourself. Yeah, shall we do that?
Tokyo delivery, Japan Sky 1623, spot 17, request clearance to Naha Airport, flight level 200.
Okay, so he wants clearance. So, shall we give him approval?
Japan Sky 1623 Tokyo delivery cleared to Naha Airport via Vamos to departure flight plan route maintain flight level 200 squawk 2536 lead park.
Clear to Naha Airport via Vamos to departure flight plan route maintain flight level.
And it's good that they've put different aircraft and different liveries in.
536, Japan Sky
That's quite nice.
1623.
Japan Sky 1623 lead park is correct. Contact ground when ready for pushback.
Roger, contact ground when ready for pushback. Japan Sky 1623. Tokyo ground, Japan Sky 1623. Request pushback.
Okay, so we want to do that for him, and why don't we go to 16L again via taxi route A, just like we did in the demo.
1623 Tokyo ground pushback approved heading north runway 16 left.
Pushback approved. Runway 16 left. Japan Sky 1623.
Okay, so there's the pushback. So it's pretty straightforward so far. Now, I don't know if this gets more complicated, whether you only deal with one aircraft leaving at once, or, you know, with a real air traffic control, or you sort of like, you got several leaving at any one time, which I imagine can get quite tricky. So this is a Japan Skylink. I quite like it so far. I just wonder whether it's value for money, that's all. If any of you have played the full game, then just drop me a comment below and let me know how it is. And what the total playtime is, because I can't gauge that just from the demo. But it is good that there is a demo, so you can see what it's all about. It's quite nice to see a demo and to just get your hands on it for a little bit. It's definitely my type of thing, and it's a good thing for the channel.
Tokyo ground, Japan Sky 1623. Request taxi.
Okay, so he's ready to taxi. I think we can give him the approval. So you see, the fact that there's a standby there, I wonder if that is if you can see, you know, is there other aircraft backing out at the same time? Therefore you would have to tell this guy to stand by whilst the other one clears. I would think so. So he's going to taxi now to 16L. Here he goes. And again, you can follow him on the mini-map at the top. So what were the other camera views it said? There was triangle. That just zooms. I see triangle and square just zoom in and out. And then you literally just change the view, the angle with the right stick. This is PS4, as I mentioned. I'm actually playing it on the PS5. So I think actually just looking now where we are, we're actually going a long way over to to the taxi, because I think we were on a different side before with the other aircraft that we just did. So just looking on the mini-map now, we're going to have to go all the way to the top of here, then he will turn right and we'll go all the way over to the runway. Yeah, the runway is over there, so that's fine. 16L is just right up at the top of the screen just now. So it's fun so far, you know, it's not bad. I can see on the left we've got arrivals and departures, so I think that kind of answers my question. When you're playing the full game, you could have arrivals and departures and you're dealing with both like a real air traffic controller. So there's going to be some skill involved, I think, to just balance all that out and just avoid any kind of mishaps. So let's get this Japan Skylink up in the air. I mean, what do you guys think? Is this the first time you've seen this? What do you reckon? Is this the type of thing you would play? Because I think it could be quite interesting. I never really thought about being in air traffic control before. I think that's it's one of the most riskiest jobs, isn't it? One of the most stressful jobs in the world, I imagine. Especially at a big airport like this. Now last time it speeded this up, didn't it? So I don't know, can we speed it up? I'm pressing the right trigger. We're nearly there anyway. Let's just have a look. We can switch the radar. I just noticed with R1 up in the top corner. So that will be our radar to see if we've got anybody coming in landing at this runway as we are taking off. So that's going to be useful. But I think for the purposes of this demo, there's only us. Well, I say there's only us. There's only this. My word, that boat there's going fast, isn't it? What speed is he going? Look at that. We'll race him. Yeah, I'm saying it's us. This isn't us actually, controlling this. We're just giving the instructions, of course. So we're going to give him permission in a second to take off. We should tower handoff.
Japan Sky 1623 contact tower 118.7.
Contact tower 118.7. Japan Sky 1623. Tokyo Tower, Japan Sky 1623. On your frequency. Tokyo Tower, Japan Sky 1623.
So I think there's nothing else, no other traffic. I think we can give approval to take off.
Japan Sky 1623, wind 040 at 3, runway 16 left, cleared for takeoff.
Wind 0403, runway 16 left, cleared for takeoff. Japan Sky 1623.
It's quite exciting actually. I didn't think it would be. I could get hooked to this, So he's going to line up and then he's going to fly straight out. So then we'll need to hand him over to approach as he leaves the airspace. Here he goes. Alright, here he goes. He'll start throttling up. Let's have a look at it from this side. We can see the airport buildings. And there he goes. So now we should hand him over to the approach. Oh, look at that, even the landing gear goes up. That's quite nice, they've animated that. So he's on his way, so now we can hand him off.
Japan Sky 1623. Contact Tokyo departure 120. Decimal 7.
Contact Tokyo departure, Japan Sky 1623. Good day.
Good day.
So that is it for mission 1. I quite enjoyed that, you know. We got a few points. And we even got a time bonus, so we didn't do too bad. So we got 3 stars. I don't know how good that is. I don't know what the top number of stars is for that. But that is the stage clear. We got the bonus as well. So I'm quite pleased with that. So I think what we'll do is, we'll do stage 2, which is learn how to land. We'll see what that's all about. Then we've covered takeoff and landing then, haven't we? So it's going to be everything in reverse, I expect. So we've got to park JSL 1623 at spot 17. That's the bonus time. So here we are already in flight. Let's start the training for arriving flights. Once you've learned the control procedures, you'll be able to control the aircraft as you wish. Main control procedure for arriving flights at Haneda Airport is runway selection, landing approval, spot designation. Let's actually experience it step by step. You can skip this tutorial, but we don't want to do that. So you can see the radar on the top right showing where we are. Arriving flight strips appear in the arrival list.
Approach, Japan Sky 1623. Leaving 12,000 to 10,000. Wait for information. Foxtrot.
So the first instruction to arriving flights is the designation of the runway on which the aircraft will land by the approach control. Selecting a runway automatically determines the airway as well. For this case, select runway 34L and wait for the aircraft to approach the airport. Okay, so 34L. Let's do that, which is Terminal 1.
Japan Sky 1623. Tokyo approach.
And we can follow this one in.
Heading 300. Vector to final approach. Go. Descend and maintain 10,000. Roger. Runway 34 left. Heading 300. Descend and maintain 10,000. Japan Sky 1623.
In this game, the approach speed depends on the type of aircraft. If a faster aircraft comes from behind on the way to the airport, the aircraft may have a near miss or abnormal approach with each other. If a near miss occurs, the game is over, so we're going to have to remember that. Near misses can be avoided by giving the appropriate instructions to the aircraft. Use the divert course command to take advantage of parallel courses, or to use the speed adjustment commands to adjust the speed of the aircraft to keep your distance. It's important to keep a close eye on the radar with R1. Okay, so now it gets slightly more complicated. We have to keep an eye on what's in the sky and manage the speed or change the course to avoid accidents. So this has been skipped for us. So you can see the approach there on the radar. It's an ILS approach. We're now approaching the airport. Arriving flights will then hand off from approach control to tower control, which is responsible for takeoffs and landings in the airspace around the airport and on the runways. So we need to select the tower handoff.
Japan Sky 1623. Cleared for ILS. Yankee. Runway 34 left. Approach. Contact tower 118 decimal 7.
So he's gonna have, looks like he's gonna have a left turn onto the runway. So here he goes, taking the left.
1623, approaching final.
So we are now so close that we can see the runway. This is the time for the tower control to decide whether or not to give permission to land to this arriving flight. If you forget to instruct landing approval or a go around, the arriving flight will move away from the airport and start over from the approach control. In this case, there are no other aircraft in the area, so you're safe. Select landing approval.
Java Sky 1623, Tokyo Tower.
There's the runway right ahead of us.
Clear to run, runway 34 left. Cleared to land, runway 34 left, Japan Sky 1623.
So we should get the landing gear as well out at any time now, because he's clear to land. Then once he's on the ground, looks like we have to take him to spot 17. Spot 17 sounds strange, doesn't it? Usually it would be gate 17, wouldn't it? Surely. There's the landing gear. So let's just follow it in. I'm glad they've not speeded this part up. It's quite nice watching it come in, actually. So I don't know where spot 17 actually is. I don't know if it's on the left or on the right. But we'll find out once we get there. I don't know if there's a map actually anywhere of... I don't know if there's a map of, you know, the airport showing where the gates are, the runways, etc. Let's just look at this, because you can take a screenshot as well, as it mentioned at the beginning, using the touchpad. So that's how you would do that, and it keeps the logo down the bottom, which is quite good, isn't it? Let's take that one. And go back to it. Here we go, he's on the money, look. A little bit of rudder, get the tail straight. Air brakes coming up on the wings there. Okay, you landed the aircraft safely. However, if you stay on the runway forever, other aircraft can't take off or land. You must designate an exit of the runway and instruct the aircraft to leave the runway as soon as possible. When an exit is selected, the control in charge is handed off from the tower control to the ground control. In this case, select A10, which is the closest exit. Right, so you can see that if you look in front of us on the actual screen, A10 and A12 are actually marked there. So without a map, you know, my next question was going to be, how do we know where A10 and A12 is? But as long as it's labelled like that, then that's going to be fine. So let's do that.
Sky 1623, turn right, Alpha 10, contact ground, 121 decimal, fine. Turn right, Alpha 10, contact ground, 121 decimal, 5, Japan Sky 1623. Tokyo ground, Japan Sky 1623.
Okay, so we're going to be able to give it spot 17 now. You've been handed off to ground control. Now you need to select a spot and a taxiing route. When you select a spot, you'll see the spot status by the colour of the pin. Select an available blue spot. Red indicates the spot is parked. Yellow indicates it's reserved, so the blue ones are the free ones. Choose spot 17 and taxi route A. Okay, so spot 17. And it's going to, it does this, look. As you select them, you can see the path that it's going to take. So there's taxi route A.
Japan Sky 1623, Tokyo Ground, taxi to spot 17.
Taxi to spot 17. 1623.
Okay, so we're gonna turn to the right. There's the gate or spot just over there. So yeah, these strips on the side, arrivals, departures, when you get into the full game, I think they're going to fill up, aren't they, with all the aircraft that are in the area. And it's going to be your job to get them all off and all back down in a safe manner. So it seems pretty straightforward at the moment, but it is going to get a bit tricky. There'll be a lot to handle, I think. So that's the challenge done. You've arrived at the spot safely. This completes the series for arriving flights. If an aircraft gets too close to other aircraft on the ground, it will occur head-on. Oh dear me, the game will be over. Let's actually control the arriving flights. While pressing L2, you can turn off the non-scenic displays on the screen, so use it if necessary. Shall we give it a go? Let's give this one a go. See if we can get this one down.
Tokyo approach, Nippon Air 3428, leaving 12000 to 10000. We have information, Foxtrot.
Okay, so let's go for scheduled to arrive at Terminal 2. So we've got to get it to Terminal 2. So let's go for, let's have a look. Why don't we go for 34? Right. That's the nearest one to Terminal 2.
Roger, runway 34 right, heading 300, descend and maintain 10,000, Nippon Air 3428.
Okay, so he knows he's 34 right. He's just making a left turn. So the next contact will be once he's ready to land. So let's follow him in. It's actually quite exciting, this. It's not as good as flying the thing. It's quite exciting. So I'm looking up there on the approach minimap. And I think this is him now, just appearing right at the bottom of the map, you can see. So he's making quite a long approach. But that's good. So, is there anybody else? I don't think there's anybody else. Let's maintain course.
Nippon Air 3428, continue approach.
I don't know what anybody else looks like on the radar. I would assume that they look like this one does, like the yellow arrow on the radar. Anyway, he's permitted to come in. We've given him permission to carry on with his course. He doesn't need to divert. He doesn't need to reduce his speed. So he's going to be the first one in. So let's tell him to maintain the speed.
Nippon Air 3428, maintain present speed. Roger, maintain present speed. Nippon Air 3428.
So it's given us several options, you see. Several times we get a chance to increase, maintain or reduce the speed. So at the moment we're okay. So it said at the beginning about the little exclamation box there. Currently it's green, so I don't think we need to do anything. But if we need to issue another command to him, if that changes from green, then I think we'll give him the instruction to maintain speed, which I think will reset that little exclamation mark. So on the minimap we just see he's going to make a right turn, carry on for a while, and then we'll make a left straight onto the runway, which is 3-4 right. So let's do the tower handoff. This controls the landings. You can just see the city there in the distance, which is quite nice.
IRS, Yankee, runway 34 right, approach, contact tower, 118, decimal, 7, Nippon Air, 3428.
Okay, so the tower's next. Need to give him permission. Once he's on final, he'll make this left turn. You can just see the airport there.
Tokyo Tower, Nippon Air, 3428, approaching final.
Nobody else in the area, so let's give him the landing approval.
Nippon Air 3428, Tokyo Tower, wind 030 at 4, clear to run, runway 34 right.
Clear to run, runway 34 right, Nippon Air, 3428.
What is that? Looks like in the sea. Looks like a giant iron. Looks like the bottom of an iron. Warming up, ready to iron the clothes. It's probably something that actually exists in real life. Okay, so here come the landing gear, because we are on final now. Flaps are down. The landing configuration is quite nice. Bit of a crosswind there, look. Put a bit of rudder in. Angle the wing down into the wind. Perfect. There's the brakes. Okay, so we're going to need to hand off quite soon. So C10 is our nearest, so let's go to C10.
Nippon Air 3428, turn left, Charlie 10, contact ground.
Or Charlie 10.
Decimal, 5.
Right, so let's contact the ground.
Charlie 10, contact ground, 121, decimal, 5, Nippon Air, 3428. Tokyo ground, Nippon Air, 3428.
So, spot 57, 58, we could go to 61, so 61's blue, so that's free. How is it best to go? Let's have a look. I think we can use taxi route A.
3428, Tokyo Ground, taxi to spot 61.
Taxi to spot 6.
So we're off the runway, so that's good.
3428.
Everything's green, we don't need to stop taxiing, so we don't need to give that command. So let's just follow this in. I can definitely see the appeal. I can definitely see the appeal of this. But I still need to know if it's worth the nearly 37 quid. How long is it going to take me to do this? The missions, so the 16 missions, I'm assuming that the 16 missions are all predefined. It's not kind of open world, if you will, where anything can happen. And you could just spend a couple of hours, let's say, in complete control of air traffic control. I don't know if it's the fact that there are 16 different missions. I don't know whether it works like that or not. Or like we've done these 2 missions now, or stages. Are the 16 exactly like that, and they get progressively harder? I'm not sure. But it is the type of thing we play on this channel, isn't it? So we're going into spot 61, which is right here. So it was actually only a very short taxi from the runway, so it wasn't bad, that. So just complete this. Yeah, my rank at the top is rank S, but I don't know what that means. I don't know what the ranks are. But let's see. I actually don't mind the fact that it's not speeded up. If you've got several aircraft going in and out, you don't want to speed things up, do you? It needs to be real time. So that's good. Okay, so here's spot 61, and that is it. So there's the result. Stage clear. Did the bonus challenge. Rank S again. which is 3 stars. We got 3 stars last time, so I'm not really sure whether or not there is an opportunity to make any more than 3 stars. Possibly. But anyway, what did you think? Let me know down below what you thought. There are several other stages in this demo, so if you've not played it, go ahead and get the demo if you're on the PlayStation. I don't know if it is on the Xbox as well. You might just have to check in your Xbox store, but definitely check it out. I quite liked it. I just can't tell you whether it's value for money yet. So I'm hoping there's some of you guys out there that have already played it that can tell me that, because if it is worth the money, I quite fancy it. If not, I will definitely pick it up in a sale, as I did with Journey to Kyoto. I didn't pay full price for that. I got that in the sale and quite enjoyed it, but I wouldn't have liked to pay full price for that one either. So remember, not the same developers, but the same publishers, the 2 games. So let me know what you think. Are you going to buy it? Are you going to play the demo at least? Let me know down below. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for joining me on this unusual one. Take care. I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.